Hey Sun Devil fans, Jaime Purvis here for DevilsDigest.com with our publisher, Rabino. And some are calling this game a glorified scrimmage for ASU because it's going to be a huge wipeout for them. What do you expect to see from ASU offense and defense?
Well, I think even though, like you said, it's a glorified scrimmage and it's a game that if ASU doesn't win by a good 5 touchdowns, it might be considered a disappointment. But there's obviously a lot of new parts, both on offense and on defense. On offense, I look to see how the wide receiver as a group performs. Obviously, we know what Jalen Strong can bring to the table. He proved out in 2013. But now you want to go ahead and see how players like Cameron Smith, Gary Chambers, and Ellis Jefferson. I mean, some guys that didn't even play last year or played sparingly last year. Gary Chambers has yet, even though he's been here 3 years, have yet to catch a pass. So you want to see how those players go ahead and complement Jalen Strong in the passing game. So that's the main thing I'm going to look on offense. On defense, obviously all the talk is about the defensive line, the lack of experience. I mean, really, aside from Jackson Hood, you have a lot of question marks over there. Players that played sparingly or true freshmen like Tayshawn Smallwood starting over there at the Tiger position. So you really want to see how that defensive line can go ahead and really come together. Obviously, they have huge shoes to fill from 2013. Nobody expects them to play at that level. But in a game like this, that's a good contest for them to go ahead and gain some confidence and maybe some social promise for the rest of the season.
And we're going to see at least 5 newcomers start and then also other ones just coming in the game. Are we going to be afraid about any inexperience, or what do we have to worry about?
Well, I think an inexperience factor is a valid thing. Now, obviously, you want to go ahead and get all the willies out against a team like Weber State and not have Stanford be your first game or UCLA or something like that. So I think it's a good opportunity to go ahead and just have those players not be freshmen not have game experience anymore after Thursday. To go ahead and just have that game under their belt, have a lot of game film to look at, and to go ahead and really learn for the future. So I think an experience is going to play some factor. I think we're going to see some mistakes during the game that you can attribute to just a player being a true freshman or just being a newcomer in general. But I think, again, that's a good stage to go ahead and make the mistake. So yes, an experience should be a factor, but against a team like Weber State should not matter as far as the bottom line.
And with all these newcomers, do you think we're going to see a new ASU team different from 2013?
Well, I think as far as scheme-wise, going back to the wide receivers, if that wide receiver group can really play better as a group, because let's face it, last year, despite Jalen Strong having an all Pac-12 season, that group as a whole was really the Achilles heel of the offense. So I think we're going to see a passing game that's going to involve more of the wide receivers and less of the running backs, less of the tight ends, and just see some maybe routes that we didn't see that often last year just because of the improved depth this year. On defense, I think we're going to go ahead and see a defense that maybe is going to be pretty similar. I think they're going to be just as aggressive and just as blitzing. They're not going to let the inexperience hold them back. So I think defense-wise, probably going to be more or less of the same. I don't see him being hesitant because of lack of experience.
And then going into this game, what are your predictions score-wise? What do you expect to see?
Well, I mean, like you said, I expect to see an Arizona State blowout, and I think it's going to be a disappointment if we don't see at least a win by 5 touchdowns or more. You definitely want to, first of all, want everybody to come out healthy out of this game. That's first and foremost. You also want to go ahead and get the reserves as early as possible in the game, if not late second quarter, at least early third quarter. And again, when we talk about the inexperience, just give those guys as much possible experience under the belt so they can come out of the game feeling better about what they have to do, and at the same point also know what mistakes they need to correct for New Mexico the week after.
I've been waiting for the season to start all summer, so I'm very excited. Jaime Purvis here for DevilsDigest.com.